What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get into the drama of it all, the sick edition. So if you haven't seen me on my community tab, I am currently getting over a cold right now, and today I actually feel good enough to do something, and I decided to do this video first. A lot of the topics that I'm going to be talking about in this are at least almost a week and a couple of days old, but who cares? I want to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. So first up, let's talk about Porsha and Simon. So I'm getting this article from page 6. It is public. It's a week old because it was published on February the 27th, 2024. And the title goes, RHOA star Porsha Williams demands estranged husband Simon Guobadia not destroy financial records amid divorce. It says Porsha Williams is warning her estranged husband, Simon Guobadia, not to destroy, conceal, or alter any files about his finances. The returning Real Housewives of Atlanta star demanded in court documents obtained by Page 6 Tuesday that the entrepreneur maintain spare financial records or statements, all income records, all tax records, all expensive records, all recording or evidence reflecting relevant conduct by either party or risk facing sanction. Williams' filing also reveals she and Guobadia signed a prenuptial agreement November the 17th, 2022, which sets forth each party's separate properties interests and marital properties interests. Says the Bravo Celebrity 42 is requesting the prenup be enforced. She also requests that Guobadia pay her legal fees. Williams' attorney Randall, Kistler, also added that the reality star is hopeful that she and Guobadia will reach an agreement settling all issues between them. Williams stated in court documents that she is the entrepreneur are living in a bona fide state of separation and their marriage is irretrievably broken and no prospects of reconciliation. Page 6 has reached out to Fulton County clerks for the filing. Williams filed for divorce from Guobadia 59 last week after just 15 months of marriage. Days later, she spoke out on Instagram about a shocking split. Thank you for your prayers, support. Broken-hearted emoji, prayer emoji, PW. She posted on Instagram Sunday, notably using her maiden name initials. All right, y'all. So that was the end of the article, or part of the article that had new information. If you would like to read it for yourself, definitely check in the description box below. The link should be there and it should be titled. The reason why I wanted to talk about this was mainly because I'm surprised. I'm still surprised at how quickly this situation has turned around on Porsha. I really thought her and Simon were going to milk this relationship for at least a good 4 years, at least 3 to 4 years. And for them to only get a year and 3 months out of it is crazy to me. It really is. And I feel as though Porsha is doing all of this mainly because it seems like more lawsuits are coming. Because I know I posted on my community tab about Tisa Tales being the one to expose that Simon is has a lawsuit with this private jet company. I think I saw it on the Neighborhood Talk and they were speaking about it. But basically Simon owes almost $1 million to this private jet company that's kind of reminiscent of Uber in the sense of where you can create a contract when you would like to use the actual private jet. And they can come and pick you up, not pick you up, but you go and use the jet, but it seems like he hasn't been paid. And I don't know when that came out versus this article, because when you're sick, the days start to move, they morph in together. But I think that information about the lawsuit either came out the day before all of this happened, or maybe the day after when we found out about Porsha wanting them to reinforce the prenup. The only bad thing about that is if they sign the prenup less than 10 days before the marriage, I think Simon has a case if he wants to be a dick, and he's a dick, to be like, I contest this because I signed that when I was under duress or when I was in stress. Because if you think about it, like it was less than 10 days before the wedding. And he could be like, well, I was helping pay for all of this. And, I had family flying in from overseas. Like, I couldn't tell them to, like, go back home if they spend such and such money on flights here or buying outfits. And then he could bring in his culture and talk about how, doing something like that would bring shame to his family. Or like he could, if he wanted to, there's ways to milk it. So I can get why Porsha's like, no, we need to keep this prenup enforced, mainly because I think depending on what state you live in, I think if you incur any debt while you're in a marriage, I guess your spouse is responsible. So maybe she's afraid that they're going to try to make her responsible for for his debts. I don't know. Either way, I just think, girl, it's hard for me to feel bad for Porsha. I'm just gonna be honest. It's hard for me to feel bad for her, mainly because the way she got with that man was shiesty, and I don't care what none of y'all say. I really don't. I know, but I do appreciate y'all having different opinions from me. I do, but it's just that, like, no matter what y'all say, it always looks bad to me. Even if I know some of y'all feel like Simon and Fallon were in a real relationship. I know I've seen other people say, well, they were having issues. It really doesn't matter, y'all. They were still in a union, and Porsha came in, and it still looks shiesty to me. It does. It really does. It looks shiesty. It looks bad. I don't like it. I don't. But if we bypass that and we can think about this, Porsha said her and that man had only been together for a month. Only been together for a month. Only for you not to really vet this man to now end up in this. And it's hard for me to believe that she wasn't hearing or decided to look up the negative things that people were saying about Simon. Like, I was watching It's Rock's channel. Love her channel. Y'all should check her out. I'll put her information on the screen. But she lives in Atlanta, and she was explaining how, like, she's even heard things about Simon. Like, a lot of people, these aren't her words, but basically what I'm surmising from, like, the things that I've heard from what she said about, there hasn't always been good things said about Simon, and then from Tisa Tells, and then from other people that I've seen do reviews who live in Atlanta and who are of that age category, like 40 and up, have said that, like, a lot of people do question where Simon, like, gets his money. Like, the people that are legit in Atlanta be wondering where that man money come from. So to me, I'm just looking at Porsha like, you didn't think about that? You know what I mean? Like, I know you heard those things. Like, why did you bypass them? And it also makes me feel like she knew to a certain extent who he was. She may not have known how deep it was, but she knew, because it's like the information that I've read about immigration and naturalization, as well as watching 90 Day Fiance and other, like, immigration shows, like, your significant other has to take, like, does interviews. Like, they have to vet and make sure that this isn't fake. We even saw that when I read the article about Simon, where his last time he was in a relationship, I think it was in 1985, they, like, said it wasn't a real marriage because the lady and him weren't living together and they hadn't consummated their marriage. Like, they ask your spouses questions. So I feel like Porsha got asked questions, but maybe she didn't know the extent of it. But I also feel like she knew something. Like, you went into and even if you didn't know, you should have known he was shiesty by the way that y'all got together. Like, if it was so easy for him to discard Fallon for you, why wouldn't you think he would be as, like, that's a character flaw? Like, why wouldn't you think he would do something like that in business? But that's just my thoughts. But let's move on to the next topic. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Erika Jayne. It looks like she might be going to court or going back to court soon. I don't even think she ever left it, but so this is coming from the Twitter page No Smoke No More. And they said they got this information from US Today. Now, I looked for this specific article and I could not find it, but I did find a USA article with the date that says Erika Jayne accused of committing fraud schemes with the Secret Service agent and American Express. And I think that's what they're talking about, and they condensed it. But that link for that article will be in the description box below if you would like to read it for yourself. I'm just going to read the post that they posted on Twitter. But it says this, it says, "Oh, it's bad for Erika Jayne. She is now facing trial on allegations she was involved in a fraud scheme. The judge denied her motion to dismiss the case. The lawsuit alleges that Erika, along with a group of Secret Service agents, credit card company American Express conspired to maliciously prosecute Selah in April of 2017 for alleged wire fraud, identity theft on the claims that Selah defrauded Erika Jayne by charging her American Express card for the false charges for goods and services totaling $800,000 to $900,000. Selah claims Erika gave him and his business permission to charge her credit card for costume and services Marco provided for her performances dating back to 2014. Erika and Tom Girardi allegedly weaponized the Secret Service per Selah's filing by soliciting and bribing agent Robert Savage to launch a federal criminal investigation against Selah instead of scrutinizing his business dispute with Erika. The lawsuit also states that Erika and Girardi enlisted American Express in their alleged fraud schemes, with Selah alleging the company filed an investigation Erika claimed of unauthorized charges and refunded the couple nearly $800,000. It goes on to say Tom Girardi was going bankrupt and used client settlement funds from his law firm, Girardi Keys, to pay for his and Erika's extravagant lifestyle and personal bills. The complainant states, thus both Erika and Tom Girardi had compelling reasons to illegally claim that Chris, Selah, and Marco had defrauded them. The charges against Selah were dismissed in September of 2021. Sources USA Today, hashtag RHOBH. So they attached a picture of Erika, and I'm guessing this man would be Christopher Selah. And then underneath this post, they also post Ronald Richards. And I've always wondered who he was because I always see him on Housewives. Especially when people talk about legal stuff, he pops up. Come to find out, he was a former trustee's attorney on the Girardi bankrupt case, as well as he's, I think, on a current case that's like a $5 million lawsuit against, I think, Erika and Tom he's working on. So it makes sense why he always got something to say about Erika, because he got a lot to say about her. But he posted this. He said, devastating day for Erika Girardi. To our surprise, the federal court, in a short opinion, denied her slap motion to dismiss Christopher Selah's case. Erika Jayne will now face trial on allegations she falsely got her customer designer, I think he meant costume designer, charged. Nothing is ever a lock in court. Congrats to Marco. This is one of the worst losses, as she won't be able to delay this trial. The facts are bad for her. The opinion is below. So I looked up what slap meant, mainly because I've always heard the term, but I never knew like specifically what it meant. But the acronym actually stands for strategic lawsuits against public participation. And this is coming from law.cornell.edu. It says strategic lawsuits against public participation refers to lawsuits brought by individuals and entities to dissuade their critics from continuing to produce negative publicity. By definition, slap suits do not have any true legal claims against the critics. So I guess Erika was trying to say that is what Marco and Chris Silas are trying to do to her, are trying to are trying to do to her, trying to defame her, and they don't really have any like basis. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I did not watch The Hustler and the Housewife, or The Housewife and the Hustler Part 2. I didn't even watch the first one, to be honest. But I did see different clips, and I saw like a short clip about the situation with the designer, as well as them getting arrested, and then their brother and their father passing away while they were in jail, and then losing so much because that ruins your reputation. That's like the industry is small, plus like negative press gets around a lot faster than positive. So I feel as though if any of the claims that they are claiming are true and can be proven in court, then Erika gonna have to find a way to pay up, and so is Tom, because that's messed up. Like, just because you were in a bind, instead of just not being, I mean, you know what, you can't expect people not to be cowards when they already stealing from people who are way less fortunate than them. But to do that to him, to set him up like that, and if that's true that American Express was in on it, the Secret Service members were in on it, then everybody should be paying these people back. Like, pay them what they're worth. You got to pay people for their pain. You know what they say? And I mean, like, he lost a lot, or they lost a lot, because I think it's two individuals, but they definitely should be reimbursed for the things that they've lost, so that they are able to rebuild their lives after what happened. So our last topic is going to be Leah McSweeney suing Andy Cohen Bravo for allegedly preying on her alcohol problem while shooting RHONA and RHUGT, so Ultimate Girls Trip. So I'm getting this article from page 6, and the link will be in the description bar below. But let's get into it. It says Leah McSweeney. Oh, and this was dated February the 27th. It says Leah McSweeney is suing Bravo and Andy Cohen, claiming that they intentionally preyed on her alcohol problem in a cynical attempt to turn her suffering into record ratings. The former Real Housewives of New York star claims in a hard-hitting lawsuit filed on Tuesday that the show won its best audience figures ever when an infamous episode known as Scary Island, in which one of the stars appeared to be confused, irrational, and losing touch with reality. McSweeney's lawyers claim in the court papers that, knowing she was battling alcohol addiction when she joined the show and had a history of serious mental health problems, they saw her vulnerable condition as an opportunity to hit ratings jackpot again by messing with her head until she went off the rails in a similar way. In fact, the paper paints a picture of producers all but desperate to cause her to relapse in alcohol abuse, trying over and over again to drive her to drink, while a variety of methods, from coaxing her to coercion to refusing her time in a schedule to an AA to retaliating against her for refusing to drink. And then the papers claim when the refused to drink, they simply tried other ways to mentally destabilize her in hopes of getting an on-camera meltdown they so badly wanted. McSweeney, who has been open about her mental health issues, even hosted a podcast in which she interviews top medical execs, experts about addictions and other matters, claims in court papers that their alleged exploitation led her into a psychiatric hospital. The news came amid a flurry of legal activity concerning Bravo's drug, alcohol, and sexual harassment. Just days following, Real Housewives star Brandi Glanville claimed in a legal letter that obviously inebriated Andy Cohen sexually harassed her by telling her that he wanted to sleep with her and another star while thinking of Glanville, inviting her to watch on FaceTime. Cohen has claimed that the remarks were meant in jest, but considered that it was inappropriate. And a few weeks earlier, Caroline Manzo, another Real Housewives star, also sued Bravo, claiming that the network produced a regularly ply the Real Housewives cast with alcohol, causing them to become severely intoxicated, then direct and encourage and allow them to sexually harass cast members because of the good of the ratings. McSweeney, who is represented by Allenman Matson, the law firm that won the $4 million defamation case for Cardi B last year against YouTuber Latasha Keeby, claims that the network breached the rights by failing to allow her to seek proper care for the alcohol addiction. Even though executives were aware of her problem, she is seeking unspecific damages. The Married to the Mob designer 41 starred in 2 seasons of the flagship Bravo show Real Housewives of New York in 2020 until 2021, a 1-season spinoff of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. The suit claims that producers pressured her into drinking in all 3. McSweeney claims in the paper filed in the Southern District of New York that even before she started shooting the first season of Bravo, season 12, which also starred Sonia, Ramona Singer, among others, she told the producer that she had been sober for 30 days and that she was working to maintain her sobriety. But instead of helping her stay on the wagon or providing reasonable accommodations for her addiction or disability, as the law says, she claims productions not only supplied McSweeney with unlimited free of charge alcohol beverages throughout McSweeney's employment as the member of RHONA season 12, but also encouraged her to consume alcohol beverages. And Sue added, the environment caused McSweeney to relapse in alcohol addiction shortly after joining season 12 of RHONY. The docs say that indeed McSweeney grew mentally and physically ill, which manifested into extreme depressive symptoms, which fought filming cast trips, much like the Scary Island episode in which former star Kelly Bensimon appeared to become mentally unstable. Oh. Her attorney claims that the episode from the trip, which Bravo named Hurricane Leah, became the highest rating episode of the season, all due to the defendant exuberance of McSweeney's clear disability. McSweeney lawyers claim that some of her following cast members even expressed concern regarding McSweeney's erratic behavior, but no one on production called McSweeney to tell her, despite relapsing into alcohol use disorder, McSweeney should continue to consume alcohol so long as she remains lucid while filming. The mom of one says after season 12, she regained sobriety and signed up for another season because she felt she could make her experience better. But when she met the producers at the restaurant to discuss season 13, they noticed she wasn't drinking at lunch, despite having watched her unravel during season 12. They openly discussed her alcohol issues, tried to brush off her obvious dependency issues, saying, well, you don't have a problem, do you? As she says that once filming began, Cohen and producers put McSweeney in situations where she felt pressured to relapse into alcohol disorder. The paper also says that she felt the producers were giving her frequent hints, including praising the performance of cast members who drank and glorified their alcohol use. That made better TV when she was drinking and made her worry she'd lose her job because of her abstinence. The suit says that she feared that her sobriety would cause her to trickle down effect where she would continue to not drink. Cohen, the producers, and the audience would think she was boring, and Cohen would no longer want her on the show. And McSweeney claims in the paper that when she refused to relapse into addiction, the producers attempt to exacerbate McSweeney's mental health disability in hopes of McSweeney's worsening mental health would cause her display of erratic behavior by behavior they wanted. The example says in the suit during the cash trip to the Hamptons, McSweeney experienced significant decline in mental health due to the impending death of her grandmother. Specifically, McSweeney's disability manifested itself in a form of rapid panic attacks or repeated panic attacks, producers witness. According to the suit, McSweeney asked the producers for reasonable accommodations for her disability, allowing her to leave the Hamptons and temporarily ceasing filming. McSweeney asked for the accommodations to visit her dying grandmother because McSweeney panic attacks interfered with her ability to work, but in claims instead told McSweeney to lighten up and have more fun, and that her personality is a lot different when she's drinking. The suit says the producers filmed McSweeney as they told her that she could leave if she wanted. But it's added, however, after working for the producers for more than 2 years, McSweeney understood this means that if she left, she would have to suffer severe consequences. On one occasion, the suit claims McSweeney got fan messages telling her that her daughter should commit, ooh, that's messed up, unaliving, and that McSweeney told producers that the message had made McSweeney herself feel suicidal. Rather than engaging in an interactive process with McSweeney to accommodate her disability and worsening mental health conditions, the suit says the producers exploited McSweeney's disability in an attempt to manipulate McSweeney to relapse into alcohol use disorder. It is added that the producers, in a diametric opposition to their obligations as the employer, in fact, encouraged McSweeney to relapse and told her that RHOA season 13 fans will like her more during the season if McSweeney still consumed alcohol. The suit claims the producers told her regarding the threats against her daughter that fans will like her more during the season McSweeney still consumed alcohol. She later signed up for the spinoff The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, according to the papers, receiving similar statements while shooting in Thailand. The papers also claim that McSweeney told producers of the show who work for the same production company, RHONA, that she needed to go to an AA meeting while filming RHUGT, and that the productions told her it would not be a problem. But when she got to the Asian country, producers told McSweeney that the production company refused to provide transportations to get her to the AA meetings in Thailand, and that there would be no time for her to attend AA meetings given a filming schedule. McSweeney is suing Cohen, Bravo Shed Media, and production company that makes both shows, Warner Brother, which owns Shed. Manzo is also suing Shed, and Warner Glanville addressed her in her legal letter to all four entities. Bravo and the producers discriminated against, tormented, demoralized, and demeaned and harassed and retaliated against McSweeney because she is a woman with disabilities such as alcohol use disorder, various mental health disorders, all in the name of selling drama, the suit claims, adding, but being in the business of reality TV does not relieve them of the obligation to follow employment laws, prohibited the exact type of discrimination, hostile work environment, and retaliation that defendants subject McSweeney to. Now McSweeney seeks justice. It goes on to say, it is unusual for the details of the dispute between Bravo and its stars to come to light. Typically, contracts stipulate that such matters are resolved privately in arbitration, but if an employee sues for discriminations on the basis of sex, and exemptions allowing cases to hear them by court, and therefore the court papers be filed. McSweeney is also suing for sexual discrimination, claiming, among other things, that Cohen has has peppered her with questions on air about her body and her sexual life, while the document claimed he didn't ask male stars about their bodies and sexual lives under similar circumstances. As well as Manzo, Glanville, and recent lawsuits, Vanity Fair and Rolling Stones have both published stories in recent months raising concerns about the agencies and alcohol use of the show and stars. Bravo and sister streamer Peacock have aired 11 Housewives series, beginning at The Real Housewives of Orange County in 2006 and 4 seasons of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trips. Reps did not immediately respond to the request of the comment. All right, y'all. So that was way longer than I expected. Way longer because that was my first time reading the article without me just seeing the Cliff Notes version online. So here's my thoughts. I don't think this is going to go in her favor. And that's just me being completely honest, completely and totally honest. Especially with the statements that she made offline, online past this article. So what I'm talking about is Leah hopped online to say this, and she posted this on her Instagram after the story was posted by the blogs, and it says this is not a story I ever thought I would be telling. In fact, I was petrified to speak on it. I was warned not to. Today my attorney filed a lawsuit in the United States District of the Southern District of New York against my former employers. Your favorite Bravo shows are run by people who create a dangerous work environment, encourage substance abuse to artificially create drama, and cynically prey on vulnerabilities of their employees. Some of the stories indicate some of the stories and incidents that are detailed in the lawsuit have been shown in an edited form on TV and are reported in media, but many have not. And there will be much more to come out once people involved are questioned under oath. Today, I am taking back my reality. There's something wonderful about the concept of reality TV that millions of people you have never met can laugh with you, cry with you, empathize, and root for you, but the reckless and diabolical ways in which people at the top drool over the misfortunes and mishaps of women, including myself, is disturbing. It's a workplace culture where toxic alcoholism, pain are not only expected but encouraged by and facilitated. This is something I mostly definitely did not sign up for, nor would I ever endorse. There is nothing more important than my sobriety. Without it, I risk losing everything I have ever been. I've been very transparent about my addiction recovery. However, there's a personal thing in this lawsuit that I've never wanted to disclose for the fear of being judged, but I am at the point now in my life where I feel strong enough to withstand whatever comes my way. I have love and respect for many of the Bravo talent, and getting to know them was a positive experience in all their ways. I may be a pariah of them, but I hope my lawsuit helps reality TV align with true purpose, authenticity, depicted complicity of the life while offering genuine support to those who share their stories. I've been trying to address this internally for years, but now I have been dismissed, stonewalled, and gaslit by actually at the turn. Since Bravo can try to manipulate my reality and others all they want, but they cold hard facts of this case are as real as it gets. Thank you to my close friends and families, of course, at Demelios, who supports me and at my difficult and necessary steps for this journey. I will see you in court. And then you got Brandy Glanville in the comments talking about, we are not expendable. We are strong women, even stronger together. Time to take our power back. So here's my thoughts. I feel as though Leah is reaching. And the reason why I say that is I saw too many articles when I was looking up about this whole entire situation before this new article came out about the work environment and Leah wanting to sue the network or suing the network, where she was too eager and very feeling very hopeful that she was going to be asked to be a part of the reboot for New York, the Real Housewives reboot with the whole new cast. And that's the cast that has Bryn, Aaron, Uba, Jenna Lyons, and Jessel. Like, there were too many interviews where, like, when I was looking up this article, there were articles underneath talking about Leah excited that she might be asked back, or she's hopeful that she might be asked back to be a part of the new reboot. And I'm like, okay, if you felt as though the environment was hostile and it wasn't safe for you, then why do you want to be back on the reboot? Because I don't think the production company had changed. I think it was still the same production company. And then I ended up finding this article about her actually being in talks with the production company to actually be a part of the season 4 RHONY Legacy Ultimate Girls Trip version, and how they feel, production feels as though that Leah only reasoning for coming out is because she wasn't casted for that show, because they felt as though she wasn't a legacy cast member. And I felt like, okay, this is where I feel like you're contradicting yourself. If you truly felt like the environment was hostile, was detrimental to your mental and emotional and your physical health, then why are you trying to continuously be a part of it? And that's where you lose me, and where I'm like, something about this doesn't seem right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the production doesn't have a responsibility to create an environment that is safe and for everybody, because they do. And I know production companies will pump talent full of alcohol. I used to be Bad Girls Club raised me, okay? Like, and I remember when those girls came out and did interviews, they talked about them just filling them full of alcohol and barely giving them food so they could just fight. So I know production companies can be slimy and sleazy and shisty, but this right here feels as though she's upset. In the same way Brandy said about we're not expendable, that both women feel like the network just discarded them. And they don't like that. No one likes to feel like they're just easy to throw away. And that's what it feels like from both women. And that's just me being honest. It feels like they're mad and they're just upset that they're being discarded, because that doesn't make sense to me for you to say that this show put your health in jeopardy, but then to constantly go out for gigs to be a part of said network. That to me defeats the purpose of what you're trying to get away from. You know what I mean? Also, we have evidence of Leah encouraging other people to get drunk because they're boring. So I feel like there's so much that the network can use against Leah where this is not going to go anywhere. And then the claims that she made against Andy about him asking about peppering her, or asking her about like her body or her, her sexual life and stuff like that. He does that to everybody. We've seen him do it to everyone, not just women, not just specifically her. It'd be different if it was very pointed at her, but he does it to everyone. And I was like, I feel like that's really hard to prove as well. You know what I mean? Because you have evidence of him being on Watch What Happens Live for years, being that way with everyone. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, this just doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere, in all honesty. I think at most what's going to happen is Andy's going to have to really sit down and reevaluate how he interacts with the ladies, with other Bravo celebrities, to make sure that this doesn't ever happen again. And that's what he's going to have to do, because the jokes that he does with certain people, my bad, y'all, that's so gross. I am so sorry. The jokes that he does can be inappropriate and can be deemed inappropriate. It just depends on how that person is feeling that day, and he has to be careful. So now you have to make sure you don't make those mistakes anymore. But yeah, I just don't feel like it's gonna go anywhere. As well as the accusations about Andy offering other members, the white substances and stuff like that. We've heard for a while that Andy possibly, dibbles and dabbles in that type of stuff. But I feel as though if he does, like, if he's not doing it on the clock at work, then can they really do anything about it? And I think it wasn't in this article, but I remember them saying that Leah also alleged that he was offering it to other like cast members. And I'm kind of like, if they was down to do it, then isn't that them? But I guess they could also do the power dynamics, like they're their boss. But a lot of them we kind of already know, you know what I mean? That they be dibbling and dabbling. They probably go to the same dealer. Like if we being honest, if we being real honest. But that's just my thoughts. So please like, comment, and subscribe. As always, remember to be bravely authentic and drop down and let me know how you feeling. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.